The Ecclesfield Cluster Innovation Project began as a collaboration between 9 schools in the Ecclesfield family of schools. The head teachers met to discuss how to respond to an invitation from the TDA to run a collaborative project that extended learning beyond the classroom. It soon became clear that this would be more effective and achievable if the schools worked in smaller groups, and so 3 schools, Ecclesfield Primary, Bank Primary and Coit Primary, worked together as a first phase to deliver an action research project focused around the inquiry question: how do we effectively engage parents and pupils to improve mathematical outcomes in a problem-solving context? The project was targeted at 12 to 15 children per school in Year 4 or Year 5 who were achieving at levels 2A to 3B in maths. The schools wanted the outcomes of this piece of work to encompass a maths journey around the individual school sites and a celebration day that would include children and their parents or carers visiting each of the schools in turn. The maths trail would involve a series of maths problems located in different places outdoors in the school grounds. Workshops took place at each of the 3 schools, and children and their parents and carers used digital cameras to take photographs of possible outdoor sites for the trails and suggested possible maths problems. These sessions were facilitated by Graham Bell from Inspire, who then put together maths trail folders to be used and regularly updated in each of the schools. At the celebration day, the children and their parents and carers worked together on the trails at all 3 schools in rotation. Sophie-Barton from Ecclesfield Primary discusses some of the issues about involving parents and carers in this way.
I think one of the key challenges was getting the full engagement of parents from the start, which proved quite difficult. And we tried everything. We tried phone calls, messages home, letters, reminders. I spent the day before the first workshop actually ringing up parents personally, which actually, when I reflect, was probably the most effective way of getting the parents on board. That probably together with getting the children's interest, and of course they then talk to the parents. So I think that joint approach from head teacher and the children actually helped. Well, as a group of head teachers, and I think myself particularly, I've been feeling for a long time that we do a lot of different very good activities with joint parent-child school activities, but actually sometimes we're in danger of just putting on these separate activities which are very useful at the time but don't actually build sustainability. And what I've been feeling is really that we need to be looking at a more strategic, stronger approach which builds more involvement. At the final review meeting of the project, we decided, in order to build this more sustainable approach, that one of the things we'd do was look at the criteria for the Leading Parent Partnership Award. So we had a look at that, and as a result, as a group, we identified 3 areas, 3 actions, short-term actions that we could take to move things on. One of the things that had happened was one school had sent out a really good parents questionnaire and had actually had 50% return. So we're going to look at that together and see what lessons we can learn between us. Another thing, another success really that's happened with one of the schools is that they've had some significant parental involvement as a result of working with the Children's Centre. And so one of the other schools now is going to approach the Children's Centre that they belong to see whether we can strengthen links there and encourage more parental involvement. And then again, through talking, we realised that actually quite a few of our parents from the different schools are actually involved in adult learning courses which are taking place at the City Learning Centre. And we'd only discovered that they were doing these courses just by bumping into them. And again, we've looked at that and thought there must be some mileage there, and perhaps we can get in touch with the City Learning Centre and see if we can build some mechanism whereby we can link and find out exactly what our parents are engaging in and build on from there.
The head teachers worked very closely together in the project and spent a half day early on planning and another half day at the end evaluating outcomes and exploring learning. This led to some searching questions about collaboration. Andrea-Carr from Angram Bank offers some feedback from the head teachers group.
We quickly became aware that there were different levels of collaboration, and this was quite exciting. We were obviously aware of the collaboration between ourselves as head teachers, and we were quickly involving members of staff, so coordinators were having planning meetings on the mass, and we planned a celebration day and workshop days where parents and governors and children were involved. What hit us as a really big impact was when our parents came back from visiting other schools, just the opportunity to actually go inside another school gate and see what it was like at the local school just down the road. Perhaps they'd only just passed the front gate in the past, but they'd actually been made welcome and felt a part of that community too. And for us that was an extra to the project. Our children came back with many ideas about what the other school had, and perhaps could we use the school council to work towards building some of the resources that they'd seen, particularly in the playground, which for the children was a real wow to go around the other playgrounds. And some of them came back and were very happy with their own as well, so that was a nice feeling of looking at what other people had and looking at what we had. And I think for our group of parents and children, the project made them feel special on that day. They felt that they wanted to outreach and get involved. And a lot of this was down to how they were welcomed. There was a consultant at the school which who immediately made them feel at home, and they wanted to engage with that project. And that is collaboration. It's not done round the table, but those parents were living that and were taking part in a wider project. One thing it made us consider as a staff was we do hold collaboration very dear to our hearts. Our new curriculum has a section on learning and thinking skills, and a big part of that is teaching children how to collaborate and to get the best from working collaboratively. And we have very good teaching methods of how we teach those skills, the language that we use, how we enable children to have the tools to do that. And having done recent lesson observations, I regularly hear teachers talking about you collaborated well, I noticed that, and it would help if. And I thought that we are good as teachers of how to teach collaboration, and perhaps there are some rules that we have for how we teach it well to children that we need to apply in our groups as head teachers. So I think my feelings was that collaboration does happen. It happens at different levels, and we perhaps need to unpick that so we can look at what works well and what we can learn from that. But it was a very positive experience, and it was the things that we didn't expect to get from it which were an added bonus. So the project now has had a launch, and for us the sustainability of that project is vital. We've already decided to invite schools who weren't necessarily within that initial building of our mass trail to spend a lunchtime with us and to have a go at the mass trail. So it's providing us with opportunities to do further collaboration, and also collaboration with children, because our older children are already wanting to adapt it and tweak it to show the younger children of school. So for us, that sustainability, and within, it's not just about the sustainability of the project, but the sustainability of the process that we've gone through as a group of head teachers working collaboratively. And I think what we've learned from that is a trust of the people that we've worked within, and how it does work best when that trust and that joint goal is there. It's already made us think of perhaps at the beginning of the academic year, it would be really useful for head teachers to share development priorities with other head teachers, because really that's the reason, that's the goal for collaboration. And if you've got the parity and the openness about collaboration, then you can opt in or out of collaboration when it's appropriate, because I think the beauty of collaboration is that it isn't one thing. It isn't something that happens for a year. It could be one event, one evening, or it could be something that's far more long term. And I think if people are clear about what they want to get out of it, then the freedom to opt in and out and the opportunities are provided for that to happen. Because collaboration, it's a process, it's a way of building relationships. It can't be an instruction or something that has to happen. But our experience from the TDA project has built on those relationships and sort of modelled for us a successful way to work collaboratively.